These are the top 5 draw spots that the pros are hiding from you. Even if you're not a competitive player, these drops will help you get the best loot and get you a victory royale. If this video helps you out, drop a like and use my code in the item shop. Let's get into the first drop. Number 1, we've got the Shack, Cave, and Avatar drop. The location is the far right of the map. There's 7 chests in the cave, 2 in the shack. The pros from this drop, you're guaranteed shield from the slurp. Good loot, good wood and brick, and there's less people and no third parties. The cons, it's a far rotate, there's no metal, and not much mobility. You need a near perfect drop for this one. How I would play it: land at the shack first, get full shield and guns, grab the Avatar skill, run down to the cave, shoot the person in the back. If no one lands there, you have full shield and extra loot. Rotate out using the porta potty, then go up the mountain with the zip. If you brick your drop, try and land at the campsite as a backup if no one is going there. Things to consider: since you're on the outer edge, the zone will be far. You have to loot quick, farm mats fast, and start moving. All you really have is one zip line. Pay attention to your left and to the right when you're going up the mountain, as there could be someone waiting for you to come out. After that, rotate to another POI where you see people fighting if you want to get some extra elims. I'd rate this drop spot at 8.5 out of 10. If you play creative, make sure you check out my brand new ZombieGrove Creative map. Number 2, Research Rock. The location is at the bottom right corner. There's 23 chests. The pros, guaranteed shield from the slurp, lots of great loot, a vending machine, great metal, good wood, less third parties, and there's mobility with the bike and zip lines. The cons, it's a far rotate and there's low on brick and people will probably drop here. How I would play it: it doesn't matter which building you really land on, they're mostly the same. If you really want to be greedy, you can go for the slurp buildings first. I mainly look for a gun up top, ideally an AR, and then play my side. Make sure that you're farming metal while running around. If you get good loot, test the waters and slightly engage the other person if you're contested. If they play passive, chances are they didn't get anything good. If it's a deadlock and it's taking too long, try to grab the bike and leave with the loot you do have. Things to consider: since you're on outer edge, you'll have to rotate early, but not as fast as the cave. The bike and zip lines do a decent job of getting you out of there. Someone could try to hold you coming out of the spot, but it's rare. If the zone isn't too far, take your time and loot up. Try to win the fight and see if you're better. You have multiple landing spots here, so it's okay if you're contested. After that, you can rotate to Brawler's Battleground or Mount Olympus. I'd rate this drop spot a 9.5 out of 10. It's one of my favorites. I saw Booga landing here in the Duos Cash Cup before too. If you're enjoying the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up and use my code Yoipi when purchasing items in the item shop. Number 3, we've got the Middle HQ. I don't know the exact name of it, but that's what we're gonna call it. The location is right underneath Plaza Pizza. It's in the middle of the map, 22 chests. The pros, it's got good loot, good metal and brick, and it's center zone. The cons, there's not really much slurp juice, low wood, and you need a good drop, and you can get third party since you're right in the middle. Here's how I would play it: try to land on a gun up top. If you get something decent, chances are you can get a quick elim from someone dropping in. Farm mats while you're looting, but you should be doing this at every single drop regardless. Pro tip: after you're safe, farm extra mats, make sure you got everything you need, and move from there. I'd rotate to Plaza Pizza after this. This drop is important to look around and see where other people are landing for when you rotate out. The things you need to consider: you got to practice the drop 100 times and then some. You want to position so you drop and deploy the chute as low to the ground as possible. This is a high risk, high reward strategy, as if you pull off landing on a gun, you'll usually be able to clean up anyone running in. I'd rate this drop spot an 8 out of 10. I'm more of a safe player and this drop is a bit risky, but worth it if you can pull it off, as you'll be in the center of every game. I've also seen Peterbot and his duo land here in the Cash Cup before. Number 4, I'm just going to call this Olympus 2.0. The location is to the left of Olympus. It's a safe drop. There's 7 chests and 1 god chest. The pros, it's safe, good loot, and you've got the treasure board quests. Good mats. The cons, it's tough if you do get someone landing here and it's a bit far from zone. How I would play it: land for a gun or go for the god chest spawn. If you're unconned, take your time looting and grabbing mats, and do the treasure board hunt. Then rotate to either medallion after, depending on which one is free. Things to consider: you'll need a good drop if someone is going for it, but if you're ahead, most of the time I found people won't contest you, which means you won't really die off spawn, which is crucial for the solo tournaments. The 50-50 will be tough if someone does just land on you blindly to get a gun and to be able to fight right away. I'm going to name this drop spot a 9 out of 10. I like these unnamed safe locations and not dying off spawn. Just make sure your drop is good and you'll be fine. Number 5, haunted house. The location is bottom mid. There's 16 chests and it's on the outer edge. The pros, it's got good loot and the vault. No third parties, launch pads and zip lines, and the bike. There's also an okay backup spot, but multiple landing spots within the haunted house if your original plan doesn't work. The cons, it's a far rotate and you're low on mat. How I would play it: aim for the vault. Usually grab your floor loot and go for the vault. Pay attention to other people fighting. Try to shoot one of them or both as they are fighting. If things are going well, play it safe and smart. You don't want to be the main person fighting here. We want to be the cleanup crew on aisle 8. If it's a 1v1, test the waters to see if the other person is good. If they're good and you're wasting a lot of time, it might be best to just swallow your pride and rotate out with the zip, launch pad, and motorbike. Things to consider: it's usually a low, moderate hot drop, so you must be able to fight off spawn, but you don't got to be super cracked. Remember, we want to be the cleanup crew. The zone is far, so don't get stuck down here. I see a lot of people fighting and wasting their time and then getting stuck in the zone. The backup house is a last resort as it doesn't have much. Remember, being alive with bad loot is better than losing out on a game if you don't have one to spare. Grab the vault if you can. If not, don't worry about it. It's a bonus. I'd rate this drop spot an 8.5 out of 10. I like this drop as it's on the outer edge, so it's a bit safer. It's got good loot, and it's not that hot of a drop as if you were going to a medallion spot. And you won't really get third party. So here's my overall summary based on a guy who used to compete back in the day. I used to play in cash cups and placed in some tournaments, and I got some earnings. The cave is great if you want to land safe. Just know you'll be dealing with running from the zone a lot. Research Rock is my favorite out of all 5 as it's on the outer edge. A few people will go there, but if they do, you're not 50-50ing for a single gun. I can land on a different spot in that location each time if needed and still get decent loot to fight. The middle HQ. If you value center zone and can battle, this is the drop for you. You just got to make sure that the glider redeploy is dialed in. Olympus 2.0, another safe option which I really like. I just don't like that there's a chance that someone could still 50-50 me for a gun / chest spawn. It's not really a problem, like I said, as most people do veer off if you have a slightly better drop than them. The haunted house. This one's a bit similar to Research Rock as it's on the outer edge and you can slightly land at a different spot if your vault route gets scuffed with other people landing there. Try these out for yourself and see which one you like the most and fits your playstyle. I'll leave you guys with one more pro tip, and it's a Bruce Lee quote. I don't fear the man that's practiced 1,000 different kicks. I fear the man that's practiced one kick 1,000 times. Meaning, just pick a drop and stick with it. Master it so no one can beat you at it and you've got it perfectly memorized. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where you drop, just as long as you practice it. It's your boy Yoipi. Catch you next time.